In the year 2025, Earth was at a crossroads. The world had witnessed a dramatic shift in power dynamics when President Trump forged an unprecedented alliance with Saudi Arabia. The handshake that echoed across the globe signified not just a political partnership, but a formidable military alliance. As oil prices soared and economies flourished, many cheered this new era of prosperity. But beneath the surface, dark clouds were gathering. Unbeknownst to humanity, their actions had drawn the ire of an ancient alien race known as the Zarkon. The Zarkon had long observed Earth from the shadows, their eyes fixed on the blue planet's tumultuous history. They had watched as humanity fought amongst itself, often turning to war over resources and ideologies. But this latest alliance struck a nerve. The Zarkon had once made contact with the leaders of Earth, offering knowledge and peace in exchange for respect and cooperation. Humanity had rejected them, dismissing their warnings as mere threats. Now, they were ready to make their presence known. As the sun set on a warm summer evening, a series of strange phenomena began to unfold. In cities across America, lights flickered ominously, and people reported unsettling visions, glimpses of towering figures with glowing eyes watching from the shadows. The government dismissed these reports as mass hysteria, but deep down, the tension was palpable. Something was coming. One night, while President Trump was preparing for a press conference, the atmosphere shifted. A sudden chill swept through the Oval Office, causing him to shiver despite the summer heat. His phone buzzed violently, displaying a message from an unknown source. "They are coming for you." He dismissed it as a prank, but unease settled in his gut. Meanwhile, in a remote desert location, a group of scientists working on advanced technology stumbled upon an ancient artifact buried beneath the sands. This relic pulsed with energy, its surface etched with symbols that glowed faintly under the moonlight. Unbeknownst to them, they had activated a beacon, sending a signal into the cosmos, a signal that would awaken the Zarkon from their slumber. The Zarkon, furious at humanity's arrogance, initiated their plan of revenge. Their ships, sleek and menacing, descended from the stars, cloaked in darkness. They targeted key military installations, disabling defenses with ease. Panic spread like wildfire as reports flooded in of unexplained blackouts and bizarre weather patterns. Cities plunged into chaos, and fear gripped the hearts of millions. In the midst of this turmoil, a small group of unlikely heroes emerged. Led by a former soldier named Jack, who had seen too much of war, they banded together to fight back against the alien threat. Jack had lost friends in conflicts fueled by greed and power, and he was determined to protect his home. Alongside him were Mia, a brilliant scientist who understood the artifact's potential, Marcus, a tech-savvy hacker, and Sarah, a skilled strategist with a sharp mind. As the Zarkon launched their first wave of attacks, Jack and his team scrambled to uncover the secrets of the artifact. They believed it held the key to understanding the aliens' technology and possibly even turning the tide of battle. In a hidden lab, they worked tirelessly, piecing together clues and deciphering the alien language etched into the relic. The conflict escalated. The Zarkon unleashed waves of drones that wreaked havoc across the country. Buildings crumbled, and the skies darkened with smoke. The world watched in horror as their cities fell under siege. But amidst the chaos, Jack's team discovered something extraordinary. The artifact wasn't just a weapon, it was a communication device capable of reaching out to the Zarkon. With time running out, they devised a plan. Using the artifact, they sent a message to the Zarkon, pleading for understanding rather than destruction. They explained that humanity had made mistakes, that the alliance with Saudi Arabia was not a declaration of war against them, but a desperate attempt to secure a future for Earth. They begged for a chance to negotiate, to find common ground. To their surprise, the Zarkon responded. A holographic figure materialized before them, radiating an aura of authority. It spoke in a voice that resonated deep within their minds, conveying centuries of wisdom and pain. The Zarkon revealed their true intentions, not merely revenge, but a desire to guide humanity away from its self-destructive path. A tense negotiation ensued. Jack and his team argued passionately, drawing on their shared experiences and the lessons learned from humanity's past. They emphasized the need for unity, not just among nations, but among all beings in the universe. The Zarkon listened, their expressions inscrutable. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the Zarkon agreed to a truce. They would withdraw their forces, but only if humanity pledged to change its ways. The alliance with Saudi Arabia would be redefined, focusing on cooperation and mutual respect rather than dominance. Jack and his team stood united, knowing that this was just the beginning of a new chapter. As the Zarkon ships retreated into the night sky, the world breathed a collective sigh of relief. The chaos subsided, and the dawn of a new era emerged. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge yet, and had come out stronger, wiser, and more united. Jack, Mia, Marcus, and Sarah became symbols of hope, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, there is always a way forward. But the story didn't end there. The artifact remained, a constant reminder of the fragile balance between humanity and the cosmos. As Earth continued to evolve, whispers of the Zarkon lingered in the air, a reminder that the universe was vast and full of mysteries yet to be uncovered. And so, humanity prepared for whatever lay ahead, knowing that they were no longer alone in the universe. With every heartbeat, they felt the weight of responsibility, not just for themselves, but for all life that existed beyond the stars. The journey had just begun, and the possibilities were endless. As the weeks turned into months, Earth began to heal from the scars of the alien incursion. Cities that had once been battlegrounds were now bustling with activity as reconstruction efforts took place. Jack, Mia, Marcus, and Sarah became national heroes, their names synonymous with resilience and hope. Yet, even as they celebrated their victory, a sense of unease lingered in the air. The Zarkon had retreated, but their presence was still felt. The artifact remained in a secure facility, monitored by scientists and military personnel alike. Mia spent countless hours studying it, trying to unlock its secrets. She believed it held more than just communication capabilities. It was a repository of knowledge, a bridge between civilizations. But every time she thought she was close to a breakthrough, the artifact would emit a pulse of energy, almost as if it were warning her to tread carefully. One evening, while poring over data, Mia discovered something unsettling. Embedded within the artifact's complex algorithms were patterns, signals that seemed to correspond with cosmic events. It appeared that the Zarkon had been monitoring Earth for centuries, waiting for the right moment to intervene. And now, it seemed, they were preparing to return. Mia rushed to inform Jack and the team. "If we don't act fast, we could be facing an even greater threat," she warned, her voice trembling with urgency. "The Zarkon aren't just watching us, they're planning something." Jack gathered the team, and they brainstormed how to prepare for another potential encounter. They knew they needed to reach out to the Zarkon again, but this time, they had to be ready. With Marcus's expertise in technology, they set up a communication array capable of sending a more powerful signal back to the Zarkon, hoping to establish a dialogue before any conflict arose. Days turned into sleepless nights as they worked tirelessly. Tensions ran high and doubts crept in. Would the Zarkon view humanity's actions as a sign of aggression? Would they see the attempts to communicate as a weakness? Jack, ever the optimist, reminded everyone of their previous success. We showed them we can change. We need to trust that they'll see that too. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the array was complete. With bated breath, they activated it, sending a message into the void. We seek understanding. We wish to learn from you. They included data about humanity's progress since the last encounter, emphasizing their commitment to peace and cooperation. Hours passed, then days. Just when hope began to wane, the sky lit up with a brilliant flash. A massive Zarkon ship descended, its silhouette cutting through the clouds like a knife. Panic spread among the populace, but Jack and his team stood firm. They had prepared for this moment. As the ship landed, a ramp extended, and the same holographic figure materialized before them, radiating authority and wisdom. "You have reached out," it intoned, its voice echoing with ancient resonance. "But your world is not yet ready for the truths that lie beyond." "What do you mean?" Jack asked, stepping forward. "We've shown you we can change. We want to learn." The Zarkon paused, considering their words. "Your species has much to learn about the universe. You are on the brink of a great awakening, but there are forces at play that seek to exploit your ignorance." Intrigued and alarmed, the team listened intently as the Zarkon explained. There were other factions in the galaxy, races that thrived on chaos and conflict. These beings viewed humanity as a resource to be harvested, a pawn in their interstellar games. The Zarkon had intervened not only to protect their own interests, but to shield humanity from these predatory forces. "We offer you knowledge," the Zarkon continued, "but with it comes responsibility. You must choose to unite, not just among yourselves, but with the cosmos. The fate of your planet hangs in the balance." With a heavy heart, Jack understood the gravity of their situation. "What do we need to do?" "Prepare your people," the Zarkon replied. "Teach them the ways of the universe. Show them that strength lies in unity, not division. Only then will you be ready to face the challenges ahead." The Zarkon extended an invitation for a select group of humans to join them aboard their ship, to learn and grow alongside their civilization. Jack, Mia, Marcus, and Sarah exchanged glances, knowing this was a pivotal moment. They accepted the offer, realizing that this journey could change everything for humanity. As they boarded the Zarkon ship, they felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. The interior was unlike anything they had ever seen: holographic displays, advanced technology, and a sense of harmony that resonated throughout the vessel. They were welcomed into a new world, one filled with possibilities. Over the following weeks, they immersed themselves in Zarkon culture, learning about their history, philosophy, and technology. They trained alongside Zarkon scholars, absorbing knowledge that had taken millennia to accumulate. They learned about the delicate balance of the universe, the interconnectedness of all life, and the importance of empathy and cooperation. Back on Earth, the news of their journey spread like wildfire. People watched in awe as humanity took its first steps toward becoming part of a larger galactic community. The Zarkon had become allies, mentors, and friends, guiding humanity away from the brink of destruction. But the shadow of impending danger loomed large. As Jack and his team delved deeper into their studies, they uncovered troubling information about the predatory factions lurking in the cosmos. These beings were aware of the Zarkon's intervention and were preparing to strike, eager to seize control of Earth and its resources. With this newfound knowledge, Jack and his team returned to Earth, armed with the wisdom of the Zarkon. They rallied leaders from around the globe, urging them to unite against the common threat. They emphasized the importance of collaboration, sharing resources, and fostering understanding among nations. The world responded. Nations that had once been adversaries came together, forming alliances based on mutual respect and shared goals. The global landscape shifted dramatically as humanity prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. As tensions rose, the predatory factions made their move. Their ships descended upon Earth, sleek and menacing, intent on conquest. But humanity was ready. Armed with advanced technology and a newfound sense of purpose, they stood united against the encroaching darkness. The battle that ensued was fierce and chaotic. Skies filled with blaster fire, and the ground shook beneath the weight of colliding forces. But this time, humanity fought not just for survival, but for a future where they could coexist with the stars. In the heat of battle, Jack found himself face to face with the leader of the predatory faction, a being whose very presence exuded malice. They clashed in a duel that transcended mere physicality, a struggle of wills and ideologies. Jack drew upon everything he had learned, channeling the strength of his allies and the wisdom of the Zarkon. "Your time is over," Jack shouted, determination burning in his eyes. "We will not be your pawns." With a final surge of energy, Jack overcame his opponent, forcing the invading forces to retreat. The tide had turned, and humanity emerged victorious, not just as survivors, but as a united force. In the aftermath, the world began to rebuild once more. The Zarkon remained by humanity's side, offering guidance and support as they navigated this new chapter. Together, they forged a path toward exploration and discovery, venturing into the cosmos with a renewed sense of purpose. As Jack looked up at the stars, he felt a profound connection to the universe. Humanity had faced its greatest fears and emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. The journey had just begun, and the possibilities stretched infinitely before them. They were no longer just inhabitants of Earth. They were explorers, ambassadors, and guardians of a fragile peace. And as they ventured forth into the unknown, they carried with them the lessons learned from both their triumphs and their failures, ready to embrace whatever awaited them among the stars.